Hey folks, Future Flow here at Scaling Up, the Bioeconomy Conference here in Ottawa. I'm here with Jordan Solomon, who's the CEO of ECOSTRAT, and I think you wear another title.
I'm also the chairman of the BDO Zone initiative.
Okay, and we'll talk about the BDO in a second, but first of all, what's the potential of the bioeconomy, Jordan?
I heard it best from the fellow that is in charge of buying all the jet fuel, biojet fuel for FedEx. Now FedEx, the size of the FedEx fleet is enormous. It's actually every bit the size of Delta Airlines and Southwest Airlines. So they run a lot of jets, so they have to buy a lot of fuel. And that fellow a few weeks ago told me that if the production capacity for SAF, we call it sustainable aviation fuel, but it's jet fuel made from wood fiber, for example. If the capacity worldwide is the size of a walnut, the demand is the size of a school bus. So a walnut and a school bus, and that's just for SAF. That's not clean hydrogen, that's not ground transportation fuels. So basically we have an enormous amount, a need to scale.
That's amazing, and I think that analogy will speak to a lot of people. So if you want to talk a little bit about the BDOs, and also I wanted to ask you, how can Canada best prepare for this huge wave, as you talked about during your presentation?
Well, I think we have an enormous need to prepare our communities for this wave, because when just economic waves crash like rail waves, they break very, very quickly, and plants get put up very, very quickly. In the ethanol plants back 14 years ago, 200 ethanol plants were put up in the US, corn to ethanol, in 4 years. And so if we don't prepare our communities to receive this wave, the wave will crash, and the economic benefits of this wave will crash somewhere else. They'll crash in the United States. They'll crash in communities other than our rural communities. And they need to break in our rural communities, because our rural communities have been devastated, for example, by the loss of pulp and paper. So we need more, and BDO Zones help get that done. They put a bullseye on those communities by pre-vetting them for what these new project development needs. What do they need? They need surplus of feedstock, they need resilient supply chains, and they need enough infrastructure. And if these communities score high enough in a BDO Zone rating, they get an A or a AA rating. And what's a AA BDO Zone rating? It marks them as some of the best areas in the world for the next bio-based plant. That's how we get plants built in Canadian communities. That's how we leverage Canadian biomass to enjoy the benefits of this massive wave of bio-based economic development.
So I'm going to ask you one more follow-up.
Sure.
We'll make this 2 videos. Are we competitive right now? Is the government responsive? I know there's a new fall budget that's been talked about quite a bit here the last couple of days. Basically, are we setting ourselves up for success, or are you more critical than that?
We certainly have the basis for being wildly successful in Canada. The reason is we possess an inordinate portion of the world's biomass. We need good government policy to enable us to leverage that. The government's taken some good steps in that direction, but we need more capacity building initiatives. And one of the solutions is more bioeconomy development opportunity zones, more designated BDO zones. We need 100 of them in Canada in the next 4 years. Imagine 100 bullseyes designating the very best places in the country for the next bio-based plant.
How many do you realistically think we'll have in the next 4 years?
100.
You think we will have them?
We will, and the US will have 1,000.
Okay. Well, food for thought. Thank you very much, Jordan.
Thank you.